So is there a spec for babel AST? Yes, there is. If you visit this site over here at babel GitHub at babel parser/ast/specs.md, you'll probably find the type definition for each of the nodes in the babel AST. Right? For example, you have literals. That is so this expression over here says that the literal is a sub, is extending from expressions. So if you go for expressions, then you may see that it's a class of it's a extending subclass of node. It's extending from node interface, and then if you look at the node interface, probably it has the type and a location, right? So which means that expressions also have type and location. Literal also have type and location. So let's get back to literal. And if you have regular expressions, literal, then the type itself will be a reg x literal, and then a pattern as a string and flex as a string. So you can read through this specs document to find out all the different kind of types, properties, and their expected type values for the AST, right? And I also want to bring your attention to there's another specs called the ES3 specs. So this is a specs that was initially used by the Firefox Spider Monkey Engine JavaScript parser, and within this document it explains like the specs for the AST specs for ES3, which is a ECMAScript 3, and this has been served as like a base for most of the libraries out there. Like if you're using like ESLint, if you're using Acorn and other parser, other toolings that has a parser, most likely they are using this, following these specs, which the babel specs is slightly a little bit different, but mostly also is following this ES3 specs, right? So to read this, probably it's structured based on the ECMAScript year, right? I think the oldest will be ES5, and from that onwards it will be ES 2015, 16, 17. So new features added in the particular year will be written in a particular year's ECMAScript version, right? So if you look at ES5 and let's look at literal, and we'll probably see that they only have two types of literal, either a base literal or regular expressions literal. And the base literal will have different kind of values like string, boolean, null, number, and regular expressions. And that is something like one example that is slightly different from babel, where babel actually breaks it down to different kind of literal. Like there's a null literal, string literal, a boolean literal, numeric literal, right? So if in your visitor, you can basically say you want to visit like boolean literal, then it will just be a boolean literal, instead of like you have to go for literal and check whether the value is a boolean true or false, right? So that's slightly different. So here you have ES3 specs for most of the AST out there, and a babel AST specs from babel.